What's up guys, Werner von Wallenrod bringing you a special Werner von Wallenrod Wack attack. And what this is, I've seen people talk about sort of other reviewers and stuff, who are sort of always positive and sort of just always saying glowing things about what they're reviewing. And I'm like, well, that's me. Because really what I do here is just sort of always kind of bring out my favorite, not necessarily, sometimes I bring out some records I just think are unique and interesting, but since they're always from my collection, they tend to be stuff I like. And often they're my absolute favorite stuff, and it's stuff I think you absolutely shouldn't be sleeping on. I'm like, oh wow, there's this rare independent record or something that I repressed and I'm psyched about it. And it always just sort of seems like I'm psyched about everything. So I want to not entirely be that guy. So I'm going to bring you some hip-hop from my collection that is straight up, I hate it. And this is my first, I'm not going to do them all in a row, I'm not going to do like a week or something, I want to do just a big stream of negativity, but every once in a while I'm going to throw these in for fun. And it was very, very easy for me to pick out a couple that would be perfect selection right away. In fact, the very first thing that sprang to mind as soon as I thought, I'm going to do something about Wack hip-hop, boom, right away. Okay, I know what I'm doing. Can you get some light on it? There it is, Divine Styler. Spiral Walls, what is the full title? Even I don't even know. Spiral Walls Containing Autumns of Light. This is his second album on Giant Records from the early 90s. Now when Divine Styler came out, I was a big fan. I loved his single, loved it. It was one of those songs, when the video would come on Yo MTV Raps or Rap City or Video Music Box, because those are the shows I watched religiously after school every single day. I would just be like, oh yes, please play the song, and I'd be really excited when it did. It was Divine Styler's Ain't Saying Nothing. I love that song. But being a kid, I wasn't getting absolutely every single album that came out, so I never wound up getting that album. And I always sort of had in my mind, though, that I really liked Divine Styler. That song was a killer. In fact, let me just play you, I queued up a little bit of it.
For the most highest on your knees and a brethren school and the other team. Rastafari, cocky, his dreadlocks shed a lot of prophecies, but style of me is planting trees for the scheme of enlightening. Properties of mine on the line for a crested people surgery. You heard of me, Divine MD, on the clergy of God. Would you believe we ain't color, we're originally in the right category of man species? And forget all about that brimstone bluffing, because we're always saying 100% something. It's some of you who never and still won't be.
I mean, that's a killer, right? And there was, Divine Styler was down with the Rhyme Syndicate, who was killing it. I mean, Ice-T was sort of the figurehead, but some of the supporting acts were actually even more exciting to me than Ice-T himself, and Divine Styler was one of them. And he's also sort of down with the Native Tongues. And so when his second album, I saw that in stores, I just, boom, saw it off the shelves, no-brainer, bought it. Hadn't heard a lick of it, didn't need to. It was Divine Styler. I needed this album, I needed his first album, I needed everything, because that is a killer track. Divine Styler was amazing, and holy shit, this sucks. Wow. I actually sold this album. I kind of left it on the shelf for a while, and I sold it. And then I went back to it in the maybe early 2000s, because I thought, you know what? I'm older now, I'm more mature, maybe I just didn't like it because it wasn't what I was expecting. I like Anticon, like, not Anticon now, but Anticon back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when they were actually hip-hop, and you had artists like Buck 65 and Pedestrian and, compelling stuff. So, I'm like, I'm into all kinds of creative, wild stuff. Maybe, hip-hop doesn't have to be strictly narrow, one singular definition of basic Bronx kind of stuff. So I actually went back and rebought this album. And I hated it so much that, boom, I just threw it again, and then I was really mad at myself. And then not too long ago, somebody actually sent me a copy of this along with some other stuff. And I'm just like, this just keeps coming back to me. I just can't get rid of it. The bad coin, the evil boomerang, whatever it is, just keeps coming back. About the only positive thing I can really say about this is that maybe he wasn't really strictly trying to be completely hip-hop, and so therefore maybe it wasn't supposed to be dope. I mean, he was definitely being ambitious. He's definitely trying to expand the limits of the genre, to even expand outside of the genre, to do different stuff, which is a thing the Rhyme Syndicate just murdered themselves doing that. I mean, you had You know, of course, Everlast did the Whitey Ford's blues nonsense and just kind of left hip-hop. And, oh, who's that guy who went R&B? I want to say Bilal Bashir, but it's not Bilal Bashir. He was dope. He was the DJ on the first album. I did eventually get the first album. And the first album is good, although nothing is as good as Ain't Saying Nothing. But it's still, this is a good album. This album, no Africa Islam, no Bilal Bashir, no Rhyme Syndicate guys involvement. I mean, maybe they're remotely involved, but basically it's just Divine Styler and a bunch of studio musicians, and I'm sure that's a big part of the problem here. So I've got it currently, as you see, on CD. I'm not actually buying my CD player right now, but I have queued up some tracks on my phone to play you, but here's how the book folds out. See, they did spend some money on this. He was signed to a major label, Giant Records. This was his second album. They had high hopes for him. So I did rip it and put it onto my phone so I can play you some tracks. And you can be sure that as soon as I play you these tracks, I will be removing it immediately from my phone. Now, I gave him some credit for being experimental, but really, part of the problem for me, seriously, is I do not believe he's trying hard here at all. I don't believe he's trying basically at all. I mean, what lyrics there are here are really... they're nonsensical, but not even in like a creative, abstract, meaningful, deep kind of way. They're in he just, you know, hey, I'm being abstract so I don't have to try to say anything intelligent. And I say it's not hip-hop, but it is hip-hop. It's expanded the genre of hip-hop, but there are definitely moments when he's clearly rapping. There are definitely hip-hop beats. There are other moments when it's not so hip-hop, or perhaps not hip-hop at all, but this is definitely... file it under experimental hip-hop, not, you know, file it under country western or something. It's not, he didn't totally leave the genre. He just spoiled the genre. So let's just play a little bit of how the album starts. This is track 1. We're going to skip ahead because it just continues like that. You might say, okay, that's just, you know, a crazy, funky, weird kind of intro skit. No, that's the whole song. It goes on for a long time, and the whole album kind of proceeds on like that. That is a full taste, but let's skip ahead a little bit. Here. Skipping ahead a bit because this heartbeat nonsense just plays and plays and plays for a while. See, I mean, it's a hip-hop beat. See, here he's not really rapping, it's kind of spoken word, but he does a little bit more rapping later as we'll come to it. Just so off. And really, I'm skipping past like the songs, intros and stuff, because they just go on, and it's just stuff like this. Me back in. Like these things just go on for minutes at a time, even before you get to what I guess would be the song proper. There he is screaming. So let's skip ahead. Now we're about a minute in. Still like this. Skip ahead some more.
Which is the ice age of time, which we can't afford.
Gravitating in this freeze frame of life, which is the ice age of time, which we can't afford. Think about it. I'm really tempted to make you listen to this whole album, just so you understand what this experience really is. Because when you hear it in sound bites, it might even sound kind of cool and creative and interesting. But if you just realize how long stuff like this just goes on for. There's a song on here that's 10 minutes long. There's, you know, and it's like just studio musicians noodling, random kind of guitars and stuff come in and go out. It's like you just saw some really awful local band that doesn't have a sound or identity yet performing. But this is Divine Styler, who did Ain't Saying Nothing.
Check this out, what I'm saying, kid.
And see,
It's all about my great matter, great matter, great matter, great matter, great matter, great matter, great matter.
this is the best song on that album. It's not great. It's not only my favorite song, it was the single. So, I mean, the label and the artist apparently all agreed with me. The single, Gray Matter. I'll let you hear this. This is actually... Sleepiness, suppressing sense in my amplified pedal. My opinion diction is the heaviest metal. Plus this justice behooves you to settle. Under our law, I have yet to show the ornament is hard to cry. But that strong moment, that's it. That's it for the rest of the album. We're not even halfway through. I don't know why I'm showing you a blank screen. Heaven don't want me, and hell's afraid. Hell is afraid that I will take over. This is the song I was talking about that goes on for 10 minutes. I know why I keep holding the phone up to the camera. It's because it's like, I just can't believe it. And this is coming at me. I just want you to, like, see, witness this. This is real. This is his heavy metal hybrid, maybe? This was so good. So good. What happened? And it just goes on like this. Like, this isn't like a 10-second intro. This is the full song that goes on and on and on. I only cut it off out of mercy. So, not surprisingly, this was Divine Styler's last record on Giant Records, and his last record for a while, although he did make a comeback. And interestingly, his third album, which was not great, but leaps and bounds far above Spiral Walls, his third album on the independent label was called Word Power 2. Word Power is his first album, so right there, Word Power 2, like, let's just forget Spiral Walls ever happened. I'm following up Word Power. That's all there is. There's only 2 Divine Styler albums. Don't even think about this. It never happened. I wish it never happened, but it won't leave my life. And now it's in all of your lives too. So there you go. Hope that was fun. Special Wack Attack video. Like I said, I do have some more really whack hip-hop ready. I'm not going to do it right now, though. I'm not going to do it in a row, but I'm going to wait and just like spring it on you when you're not ready for it, when you're least expecting it. Something for my crates besides all the great stuff. Till next time, is Werner von Wallenrod saying peace out. And this album sucks. Bye-bye.